Hey gamers, today we're going to look at Chang Cheng. Let's chickadee check it out. To set up the game, each player is going to get a handful of wall pieces. They're going to get some action cards. You're going to set up the board here. You're going to put these, shuffle all these, and then lay them down here, and then flip them over to reveal a number that will be added to the points of each province here. You're going to take these little Mongol tiles, shuffle them up. They have different numbers on them, negative numbers on them, but you're not going to look at them. You're going to shuffle them up, put them down there on the Mongol area as well. You have a score tracker here, so you're going to put your little score counters there, and then you are ready to go. Now, in a 4-player game, you're actually going to add a 4th board to it. If this is a 3-player game, what you would do is you would start playing on it, and as each province gets finished, like, let's say they put out enough wall pieces there to complete a province, once it's scored, you'll put one of these emperor tokens on it, and once 3 emperor tokens are played in the game, then you'll add the 4th piece to the board and expand the land. Now that's only in a 3-player option. So how the game plays is very simple. You have basically 5 actions you can do. You may place 2 wall pieces or 2 action cards from your hand. I'll get to these action cards in a minute. Or you may place 1 wall piece and 1 action card. Or you may place your 1 double wall piece, or the final action, you may place your 1 tower that you have. I'll explain the significance of the tower in a minute. The double wall piece just is like 2 walls at the same time. You can put them anywhere. The rule about putting single walls is you cannot put them in the same province. So for instance, I could not do that right there. I could put 1 there, and then I had to put 1 in a separate province. So 2 tiny walls can't go in the same province, whereas a double wall could, but of course you can only place 1 double wall, and this is the only one you have in your pile there. So as the game goes along, players are moving their pieces in here, and they're trying to get the most wall pieces in that province. Now once that happens over time, that's when you're going to stop and you're going to score the wall. So for instance, purple has the lead here, so they're going to get the 5 plus 1, because these are those little tokens that were randomly put out on the board before the game, and then they would go up 6 points on the wall track. Now you also have to watch out, because later on at the end of the game, once all the provinces are scored, then you're going to have the Mongols attack, and the Mongols are always going to attack whoever has the majority. So for instance, purple has the lead here, and they got 3, and let's say that green was here too. So 3-2, purple wins. But if you look at the Mongols here, it's tied. It's actually 2 purple and 2 green, because the Mongol region is like this. So sometimes you can win the province and actually get out of losing to, let's say actually it was here, let's put blue here to give you a better example there. Even though this was tied, if it was tied, then both players will share the victory points. And then on the Mongol area, purple's wall here is actually in this province, not this one. So green has the majority here, and unfortunately they're going to take the hit later on at the end of the game, and they're going to receive some negative points. Ooh, a -3, that was not good. So this is a game of basically balancing out where you want to put your walls. You want to get majorities here, but not over here, because those will subtract from your score. And again, once you score all the provinces, then you will score all the Mongol regions. Now each player has action cards. They're all the same. They do the same actions for each player has these cards. Once they're played, they're eliminated from their hand. They may not play them again. As I said, you may play 1 wall and an action card, or just 2 action cards for your turn. So the first action card basically eliminates anyone else's action card. This may be handy for, like, if green had placed an action card earlier down here because they had some wicked plan going on, I may want to put my final wall here and place my card down here and eliminate whatever that card is that could give them advantage. What kind of advantage am I talking about? Well, if you play the 2 here, you get a choice. You can knock out one of your opponent's bricks. So if I did this, or let's say green played this, they could knock out one of my bricks. If it was tied, you know, you'd really want to do that because that would give you the majority. So let me put in the blue one here and just show you if it's 2-2, the players would split those points. But maybe purple plays this one and says, no, green, you're gone. And so now I own the majority. I will get the points. Now, another thing I could do, maybe I win the province and I'm also winning against the Mongols. That's not good. I don't want to have the lead against the Mongols. I don't want them attacking me. So instead of taking out one of my players' walls, I'm going to take out that Mongol tile and we're not going to score that, meaning I'm not going to suffer the negative points. So that's what 2 can do. Number 3 can either give you +2 or -2 to a region. Why would you want -2? Well, if I did have the majority here, then I would definitely want to play this and get a +2 on that score. If someone else had the majority, I may want to damage them and, you know, let's say green had majority, not me. And I knew that playing my last castle wall will score that for green. So I go ahead, play it here, play my card down here, then as we score it, I reveal and say, aha, you thought it was 6, but it was only 4. And so green, instead of tying with me, goes up to 4. Speaking of number 4 here, you have your 2 choices. You can add 2 to that region, or you can add another wall piece. So again, going back to that tied scenario, maybe you played the final wall piece there, and then as an addition, you played this action card, which gave you an additional wall piece, which means purple would actually score that round. Number 5 here gives you 2 invisible wall pieces. So once again, I don't have the majority here. Green maybe does, or maybe we're tied here or whatever. Let's say green has a ton of pieces there. There it is. So I play one here. I don't want to tie with them. I place this card down as well. So once it's scored, it is revealed. And I got 2 castle walls, and I get those 6 points. So I'll go up 6 again. Haha, take that, green. And then finally is the 6th card that you can play. This one lets you switch walls from one province to another. And that's because maybe if I beat them, but I don't want the majority for this Mongol tile, what I'll do is I'll just switch out with blue. And that way, now it's green that has the majority there, and they will be attacked by the Mongols. So as you can see, they're all good cards, and there's a reason you'd want to play this number 1 card to eliminate one of those possibilities when you are scoring these. So, of course, the game continues to go on as you score each province. After that, then it's time to reveal the Mongols, and whoever has the majority in there will suffer minus points. So here it'd be green. Green would suffer 3 points. They'd go down 1, 2, 3. Of course, they'd probably be higher up on the track at this point too. So anyway, that's what you're doing. Now, the one thing I wanted to mention about towers though, if you have a majority, let's say I had the majority here and one of them was a tower. If I place my tower piece there, then it doesn't matter what the Mongol tile is. They will not attack any areas that have a tower in it. So if your tower is in a Mongol region where you have the majority, that's good because the Mongols can't attack that and they go away, and you do not suffer those minus points. They do have some extra bonus cards in the game. They don't say what they are. I call them the Emperor's cards, but they're basically just different ways to play the game, and they are all pretty sweet. Let me go through them all. The first one says, hey, if you have the most wall pieces in each province, like, you know, green player has, you know, their hand in like 5 of these provinces. Blue player has 6 and purple has 7. Well, if purple had 7, you know, 7 wall pieces in 7 different provinces, they're going to get a bonus 4 points at the end of the game. Or you can play with this one that says, hey, whoever has the longest consecutive wall. So maybe purple was on a roll here and double wall pieces would only count for 1, but let's say I had all that. Well, we would count whoever had the most consecutive, and they would get 1 point for each wall piece. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have the lead. I would go up another 5 points. The other scenario is whoever still has action cards left in their hand by the end of the game, you get 2 points times any of the action cards. So if you save them all, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, it's very tempting to save for that, but of course when you are doing that, you're not going to be scoring, well, you may not be scoring some of these provinces. So it kind of makes people not play their action cards. Kind of wild. And then finally this scenario, basically once a province is scored, you would reveal the Mongol track. Now you don't score that yet, but you'll let them know this is how many negative points you're going to suffer if you have the majority there. So it may make you play some action cards there to kind of switch out walls or do something to get rid of not suffering those -3 points. So the game says the players may pick one of these scenarios. You can play with all the scenarios. You can pick a random scenario, but these are actually really fun. I'd probably, with the exception of this one, play all of these every time I play the game. And that is Chang Cheng. Final thoughts, what do I think about the game? You know what, I've had my eye on this game for quite some time, I think a year or so. It wasn't at BGG SpringCon, so I couldn't play it. And so I thought, man, do I want this game? It looks interesting, but I don't know if it's something I'd like. Well, I got it for $2. I said, hey, you know what? If I don't like it, I just passed on a lunch, basically. So this is actually a really fun game. I'm really happy I got it. It's very simple. It's not for, you know, if you're a gamer who loves deep games, this is not it. This is light games. This is something that you'd probably introduce to people too, because it's fairly easy to figure out. I would always play with those special cards every single time. But the game is very simple. Kids can play this as well, so you may look at this as a family game too, even though it doesn't look like that on the cover. The artwork's really nice too. I don't think I mentioned that in the review. But yes, I do think it's worth your time if you like light board games dealing with area control. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on!